It's a pretty morning, hardly a breath of air, no leaves even moving in the trees, and that's pretty abnormal for here. There's usually at least a breeze, and in some cases, on some days, especially in the spring, we could have 100-mile-an-hour gusts. And those are not days you want to be out in, I can tell you that. Well, how's everybody doing today? I haven't made a video in a while, at least not one that I care to share. Some days I'll make a video, and if I don't post it right away, I likely won't. Because, I don't know, time moves forward, and you may not even feel that way anymore. For me personally, I'm just taking things one day at a time because I don't see any sense in doing it any other way. You have to take what the day brings forth and deal with that. Anybody remember the old Pantera song, Yesterday Don't Mean Shit? Went something like this: yesterday don't mean shit, because today's the day that you gotta face, or something like that. Yeah, there's some truth to that. Yeah, it's like you've got to just take things one step at a time. To get in front of yourself is not a good idea. Not in my opinion anyway, not for me. Because you'll just end up running over yourself with expectations and things that didn't transpire, didn't work out the way you thought that they would, and why set yourself up for that kind of, I don't know, disappointment. So, yeah. I went for a walk earlier, which has been helping me out greatly. If I start the day off with a walk, I usually have a better day. It's better out here in the country. I really don't like city walking. I have done that many times when I lived in various cities, of course, where you don't have anywhere else to go but, the residential areas. And I can 100% assure you that I like the country better than I do the city. It's just more nature, far fewer people, that sort of thing. It's just a better experience. And I guess it probably helps to release those good endorphins, and I don't know if it affects dopamine levels. I would imagine so. Probably affects anything good. Um, Plus, I need to work off those beers I drink. I don't drink hard alcohol anymore. It's just, it's too much. And I overdo it, and leads to problems, and it just really kind of leads to depression because of the excess of, you know, hard alcohol. But beer, on the other hand, I'll always be a beer lover. I always love me some beer. But it adds up. So you have to do something to balance that, all those calories. Develop quite a little beer gut if you don't. I don't just have a whole hell of a lot to talk about, really, and that's becoming more the case every day, it seems like. I just have lost interest in looking at the news, That's really another name for noose. It's just a noose. Just constant chaos, it seems like. Whether it's the government or celebrities. I think Ozzy Osbourne died yesterday and everybody was posting crap about that. It's just like, okay, other people die too and they don't get any recognition at all. In fact, so many people will go out of this world with absolutely nobody noticing, no recognition, just that's it. Where's their big celebration? But everybody has to celebrate the celebrities, of course. And what did they really bring to your life? Not really much. Not in my opinion. Not when I look back on it and I think, oh, I mean, I used to listen to some Ozzy back in the day when it was the early stuff, the early 80s, the Blizzard of, I think it was it the Blizzard of Oz? Maybe that album had some good songs on it, but I don't even listen to that anymore. I mean, it's just, how many times can you listen to something and think, man, that was really good, by the 100,000th time you've listened to it, boy, it doesn't get better. You know, and that's where I'm at with most music. I like synthwave. I've really kind of got into that because it just has a good flow to it and a good vibe to it that I can get into and kind of just get into my own thoughts instead of thoughts being implanted into your head. You know, that's rock music or any kind of music with vocals and lyrics. It's really kind of a form of what do you want to call it? Not necessarily mind control, but sort of, mind indoctrination. And try, where I'm at right now in my life is to try to get all this nonsense out of my head, all that constant inner chatter that is exacerbated by lyrics and music sometimes. It's just crazy. Here comes a bird. See the bird go? I mean, that's the sort of stuff that brings me a lot of peace and joy right now, is watching these birds out here. And I can just kind of get outside of my own mind and all of the nonsense. Well, anyway, see, these birds are just having a good time. Unlike people, nature, birds, whatever, they don't have the ability to contemplate these types of things, and that's probably a blessing for them, because for people it becomes a chain around your neck to have thoughts in your head that just constantly dictate your mindset and all of those things. And I'm trying to really hard to get away from that and focus more on things that really don't matter much. All of us are stuck in this rat race trying to figure out how we're going to survive from one day to the next, how you're going to pay bills, how you're going to avoid various diseases and so on and so forth, which of course we won't, and we have to come to terms with that. animals, whether it's birds, dogs, horses. Dogs may be an exception. Dogs actually, I think, can get depressed, and I think that they've demonstrated that in some studies that dogs can develop a sense of learned helplessness, and they've done very inhumane tests on dogs and just unethical shit to see how they respond. And a puppy comes into this world full of life, and depending on how it's treated, either has a happy life or one of just pure shit. I'm not so sure that birds and other types of animal life experience depression. I don't think birds get depressed. I mean, I might be wrong. And dolphins are supposedly intelligent. I've never swam with dolphins. Has anybody ever swam with dolphins? That might be a neat experience. Well, anyway, okay, this is a talk really about nothing, which is pretty much what most of these talks are becoming. I mean, how much can you talk about world events or whatever? The world's never going to change. It's going to be what it is. Humans are devolving into something truly tragic. It's not the same humanity that I remember growing up. Of course, we didn't have all of the social media influence. We had the TV, though. We had the radio and the TV. That's the two primary sources, and the movies, of course. Those were the three primary sources of influence. We didn't have all this social media silliness. And I really don't have a lot of faith that humanity's ever really going to get turned around to where people are halfway normal again. I mean, over about the past 5 years, it's just become even more crazy, right, with the corona thing that was going on, and then just fast forward from there, it's just, I don't know, something's missing. But you can only talk about that so much. You can talk about that till you're blue in the face, and it's not going to change. It's just going to keep getting stupid. And like what was the t-shirt or the bumper stickers, you can't fix stupid? Well, I'd have to say that's pretty much right, but these birds don't care about that. They just do their thing. I'm trying to get more like them. Okay, well, that's enough of this meaningless video. I hope everybody has a good day.